Honorable Minister Pat Conroy, Your Excellency Emily Luck, Commissioner, Commission officers, ladies and gentlemen. Minister, it's my greatest pleasure to welcome you to Samoa, and I hope you are enjoying your first visit to Samoa, and I hope and I pray it will be the first of many. We're a small country compared to the vastness of Australia. 200,000 people. But we're also very proud of it. We're proud that we're an ancient nation too. The anthropologists say that we've been here for about 4,000 years, and we'd like to say that we're the elders of and the father of the Polynesian nations. Don't you believe what the Tongans say? When we talk migration, our Maori cousins say that they sailed from Hawaii in 10 canoes. So in New Zealand, they trace their ancestry to the 10 canoes. When it comes to the rest of Polynesia, we all came here to Samoa in one canoe, and then we ran out of land, and we sent the Tongans to Tonga and the rest to where they went to. And, but that was so that we'll fly back in a plane and catch up with them later on in life. I can't thank you enough, Minister. This morning you visited the Maritime facility, and you're in this facility. If you look at the face of the globe, 1/3 of the surface of the Earth is the Pacific. And this is the region that belongs to us. The guardians of the Pacific are the Pacific nations: New Zealand, Australia, Samoa, Melanesian group, Micronesia, and Polynesia. It's a vast area, and Polynesia, Melanesia, Micronesia, we don't have the resources to look after the space on Earth that God has gifted to us. And we need Australia and New Zealand's help to take care of this area that is important to us. And also looking at the map, all the powers surround. We call it the Pacific because we're very calm. It's the calmest surface on Earth, but we have these very powerful forces that surround us. And when it comes to our place on the Earth and how we want to protect it, we are the ones who should be concerned. We may not have the power of the US, the power of China, and the rich nations of the Earth, but we have a right to be heard about what happens in our region. And New Zealand and Australia being the biggest of the siblings, we take our lead from them. And we encourage New Zealand and Australia to amplify our voice, because sometimes, because of our smallness, we're drowned out in the big forums of the world. And coming to this particular occasion, Minister, I can't, on behalf of the Samoan government, thank you enough for the help that Australia has provided to the Samoa Police to enforce law in Samoa. I commend the police force. You may have followed our elections, and we were on the tipping point. The two constants that I applauded at the time of a dilemma for us and crisis, and constitutional crisis, was one. I had faith as a lawyer. I had faith in the court that they would be impartial interpreting the law. And I had faith in the police and that they would maintain order and not choose to take sides in a political fight. So a lot of the ability and capability of the Samoan police that we have now, Australia has had a lot to do with it, and that's through the Australian Federal Police Program. And I can't speak and thank Commander Dan Evans enough for all the help that he's and his predecessors in helping our police force. Two of our police buildings in town, they were built during German times. They had been condemned by the health department, so we needed to go somewhere. We knew where we wanted to go to, but we were a day late and $1 short. And thank you to Dan. He agreed with aid from the Australian government to pay for this place for the next 2 years, and gives us 2 years to find someone who would be crazy enough to build 2 buildings in town that will not be less than 60 million Samoan. So that'll be my job for the next 3 years. I don't know whether I'll last beyond the next 3 years, but that's my work cut out for me. I have to persuade someone to build those 2 buildings. Not only the institutional assistance, the facilities, but the character of the Australian aid people in police who have come to help us. We have a word in Polynesia. Knowledge is not just pure knowledge, it's mana. And the Australian people who come here bring a lot of mana, and we inherit their mana too. And going forward, I have every faith that our police force will do the job expected of them. And by no means, it's only them, it's been through your help. So on behalf of the Samoa Police Force, the Commissioner and all the officers here, I thank you, Minister Conroy, and the Australian government, and Emily Luck, Dan, for all the help that you have given us so far. And I don't want to be presumptuous, but I'll come begging in the future too. But enjoy your trip here. Hope you have a great time over here in Samoa. I hope I see you again in Samoa, and would also relish the opportunity to visit Australia. Welcome to Samoa, please.
Well, thank you and good morning. Can I acknowledge, pay my respects to Minister Schuster, Commissioner, Deputy Commissioners, Commissioned Officers of both the Samoa Police and the Australian Federal Police, and in fact the Australian Defence Force as well, and Her Excellency Emily. Thank you so very much for having me here today as we officially open the new training facility and launch the First Responders Handbook. I think they're both great symbolic and concrete manifestations of the partnership between Samoa and Australia. And we're proud to have been friends for over 50 years, and in fact I congratulate the people and government of Samoa on this, their 60th year of independence. We've been friends for so long, and we've stood by each other in times of need. Whether there was a devastating tsunami of 2009 or the Black Summer bushfires, we've stood there for each other, and we've also stood with each other in regional times of trouble, and I acknowledge the Commissioner's service in the Ramsey operations in the Solomon Islands as another symbol of our cooperation to support Pacific prosperity and stability. We recognise each other's integral role in the region as part of the Pacific family, and we commit to working together for a peaceful and prosperous and resilient Blue Pacific. And in recognition of this commitment, our 2 Prime Ministers recently signed the bilateral partnership arrangement. I had a privilege to witness that signing in Canberra last month, and the arrangements there highlight the commitments covering climate and disaster resilience, security cooperation, economic growth, human and socio-economic development, and people-to-people linkages. And policing cuts across all of those things. And if I can pick up a theme from Minister Schuster's address, which is about being part of the Pacific family and supporting each other. I had the privilege of representing alongside the Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister of Australia at the Pacific Islands Forum Leaders Week last year in Suva. And the leaders' communique talked about a Pacific approach to security, a Pacific family approach to security, where we all help each other. If one country in the Pacific requires assistance for their security needs, other countries stand ready to support that. And that goes both ways. The support we received during our recent bushfires demonstrates that it's not just big countries helping other countries, it's all of us together in the same boat of the Pacific. And I say to you, Minister Schuster, you are a proud and sovereign nation. You're a relatively young democracy of 60 years, but we've only been a democracy for 120 years. So we've got a privilege to support your path, and I agree with you that the institutions that were on display during your recent elections, your independent courts and a police force that follows the rule of law, are foundations of democracy. So I've been tremendously impressed in my time here by the institutions of Samoa and the people that staff those institutions, whether it's the government of Samoa, the police force, the courts, that they ground your young but proud and sovereign country. So it's been a real pleasure to be here. It's been a real pleasure to congratulate the Samoa Police on the launch of the First Responders Handbook and to help launch the training facilities here. Before I finish, I wish the new recruits that are currently in training all the very best in your careers and congratulate you on choosing a challenging but very rewarding career in keeping your community, family and friends safe. And this is also a great opportunity to thank all the police detail that have been supporting me over the last 2 days. I've been impressed with their professionalism and their commitment to service as well. So thank you again for having me today, and Manuela Leaso.